CASA is an organization that was developed to help children in the foster care system who don't have a voice or anybody to speak for them. Often they get bounced from house to house, foster parent to foster parent. Social workers change in and out of their lives, and CASA was developed to give them some stability and an advocate that would speak for them. It also turns into somebody that develops a relationship with them that's constant. These kids need somebody they can trust in their lives. My career was in the prison system. Seeing how many kids come from the foster system and end up in prison was startling to me. So I decided that, I would give it a shot and see if there's a kid out there I could help. Right after being sworn in, the assistant director came to me and said, "I have a case for you." And I was like, "I'm still standing on the courthouse steps, this is pretty quick." And she said, "Yeah." And so I got the case file the next day and started poring over it and found that this kid was a troubled kid, developmentally disabled, and he was already 19 in an apartment through an assisted living program, giving him a stipend each month for groceries and bills and things. They paid for his apartment, and they were trying to get him to learn how to live life on his own. He got in the system through an abusive relationship, so when social services got involved, mother and stepfather just said, "Well, we don't want him, you can have him." So he went foster care home to home and changed people who were caring for him. He changed social workers every few months, and he didn't understand that his parents left him. All these kids still want to be with their parents, no matter how abusive they are. They want to be with mom and dad. That was his goal. He wanted to be with mom. Well, he had managed to stay in touch and get her number, and they had touched base here and there. And when she found out that he had an apartment and was getting money, she moved in immediately, and that was against all the rules. He'd quit going to school because he didn't want to. He wanted to stay home with his mom, play video games, and eat fast food on his dime. He was a mess, content to go live on the streets with mom, not knowing that mom was not going to take him into the streets. Mom was going to use him for all he was worth, and then she was going to go back to the streets and just leave him. And so, he would be this developmentally disabled kid on the streets at 19 years old, unable to care for himself and being taken advantage of at every turn, and it would have been horrible. And so I knew that I had to do everything I could to try to get him in a safe place. This new kid that I just met, he's got 30 days to get his life together. It was a challenge just right there, just to get him on board. So I looked into CVRC, Central Valley Regional Center, and about on the third day, I was dragging him around to different appointments, and we were going to go to CVRC and do the tour. And he said, "So why are you doing this?" And I said, "I'm just trying to be your friend, and I just want to help you. I just want to be your buddy, if you'll let me." He said, "Are you being paid for this?" I said, "No, I'm here because I want to help. I'm going to be here. As long as you let me, I'm going to be here." And that kind of turned him that day, man. I started dragging him around and making him do things and banging on his door every morning. I mean, he wouldn't get out of bed. I'd be at his apartment, just banging on his door, yelling, "Get up, come here, brush your teeth." He finally started listening, finally started getting up. I dragged him around to a few appointments. We went to CVRC. After we left the rehab center, he said, "I didn't like it." And I just my heart just sunk. And I just thought, that's his last chance, And then, in that little pause, then he said, "I loved it." And I just felt an uplifting of just relief. And now I had a target, something to shoot for. Lo and behold, it was getting done, And seemed like the day his eligibility was going to run out, we got the last test turned in, and everything worked. And they said, "Okay, he's approved." And he's on his medications. He goes to his counseling appointments. He's kept up with everything. He's happy, and he's healthy, and he likes where he is. When I say, "What do you want to do today?" "Well, let's go buy a 69 El Camino and start working on it." Something that. So his dreams are lofty, and he wants to do great things. And so then I have to just bring him back and say, "Well, why don't we just go get a kite and go fly a kite for a little while, And he just lights up with joy. Yeah, that sounds great, So, but he's done some good things. I've got him now helping me. I do a widow's ministry at church where I go fix things that their husband might have fixed before he was gone. Leaky faucets, toilets, broken gates and doors and things. And so I keep busy with that, and he helps. And as my assistant, it helps me to see how smart he is and how capable he is. He'd rather change the tire on his bike than ride it. He likes to fix things and work on things, so him and I match up in that area pretty well. So I think that being a CASA is a lot like being a parent. There are great joys, but at times there's heartbreak that you have to deal with. But you always know your heartbreak's nothing like what those kids are going through. he's going to be in my life forever, and then I'm going to move on, and they're going to give me another case, and I'll do my best with that one. And my wife said, so how many of these kids are we going to adopt? We'll see. We will see.